Assemblyman McLaughlin.
Thank you, Chairman, and thank you for being here. I'm going to hit on the same topic that my colleagues are, because I can't tell my constituents that are frustrated and angry about not receiving a check that somehow their municipality is not sending it in the right format. So
Understood.
my question for you is, what's changed? What format-wise changed from what the old system was to what the new system was? What data are they supposed to send that they somehow apparently are not?
Sure. The old system did not require them sending information to us to use. The old system had them telling the school districts that are doing the tax levy whether to put the exemption on the tax bill or not.
Right.
So they had that relationship with the school districts. So that relationship, they probably worked through that interpretation in the past. But when we're receiving it from 1,000 assessors in almost 800 schools, we don't have those interpretations right now.
Correct. Okay. So knowing that, and knowing that we're implementing a change, why was this change implemented in fairly rapid fashion rather than maybe do it this year and keep the old system in place for another year and be able to proactively communicate to these municipalities, many of whom you mentioned are part-timers, there may be 1 or 2 people working in these small villages or hamlets. I don't understand why we did this. It's a ready, fire, aim, then blame mentality around here. So why didn't we take our time and do it right and roll it out correctly rather than do it out as quickly as we can? And we're seeing the results of moving too quickly.
The assumption was that when we received the information from the assessors as to who purchased the homes, after March of 2015, so when we found out what that universe was, and it was 120,000, the assumption was that we would then have them come in and register, and we'd be able to use that information that we received. Unfortunately, when we looked at it, we found it was not as accurate, and so we couldn't just be sending checks out based on that.
Okay. Was it modeled before we rolled it out? Did we model this? Did we test this at all before we did it?
The timing did not allow that.
Right,
yeah.
because we moved too quickly.
Yes.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
That's
yes.
my point. We moved too quickly rather than model it and test the waters before we jumped in to this mess.
It was a fast implementation.
We
yes.
certainly know how to collect them on time, though. That we can do. But getting the taxes back to the folks who need it to pay their school taxes is proving a challenge. And given that, that it's clearly a challenge, and we have a lot of frustrated constituents out there, which frustrates us, and I know you're frustrated. I know you don't want these checks to be late.
Correct.
Do you think that the taxpayers of New York that are not receiving the checks to which they're entitled, should they receive a grace period from the state of New York and not have to pay interest or not have to pay a penalty?
So associated with real property, there isn't any interest or penalty.
So it's okay if they're late. There's no problem with them being late with their taxes to the state of New York?
We administer to the tax laws as they're written.
Okay. The star freeze, I just want to hit on that for a second. The governor's proposing that we freeze this at 2016, 2017 levels. The department, I assume, is non-committal or supportive of that proposal? Probably non-committal, right?
Well, supportive, because we've seen how the freeze has really worked on maintaining the property tax levels.
Well, the property tax freeze still, we don't have a property tax freeze completely. We're still seeing some increases, right? Okay. So given that property taxes can continue to creep up, and I give the governor credit for that property tax cap, it was necessary and needed, is freezing the star exemption at current levels, is that not in effect a tax increase going forward for the homeowners since they are now frozen, but yet their property taxes will continue to creep?
If the property taxes stay within the freeze, it won't be as much of an impact.
A little louder, please.
If the property taxes stay within the freeze amount, within the cap, it won't be that much of an impact.
But it's an increase.
Yes.
It is a tax increase.
Yes.
Okay. With this change to the checks being cut, what's the cost to the state on postage and printing?
We're doing it within our administrative budget.
There still has to be a cost.
There is a cost. There
Okay.
is a cost. We've not done the calculation of what the cost is.
You haven't calculated the cost of postage or printing or envelopes or anything else? Labor
Not-
involved? Never calculated
Not
that.
individually. We consider it part of our business, what we have to do to administer to the tax laws.
But yet you didn't, did you get a budget increase? Did you get an increase in your budget in last year's budget?
No, we've been flat.
But yet you incurred additional expenses, but we don't know what those are.
Correct.
Okay. Okay. All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.